Hello, I'm Yvonne Gamble, and I'm here to talk to you about your mindset determining your moonshot. I have 28 years plus experience in finance, banking, and investment, telecommunications, and journalism. I am the owner of 5 corporations between investment, real estate development, aerospace, PPE supplier, and political advocacy. I studied journalism at Columbia College University in Chicago, Illinois. I am a computer programmer of 5 different computer programming languages, and I'm a network administrator. I studied at Laney College in Oakland, California, biotechnology and biomanufacturing. I am the author of 4 books. My next release is coming out in fall of 2022, and it is on the fourth industrial revolution, change management for the next 100 years. My most recent book signing was in April of 2022 in Paris, France. So let's jump right into it and let's look at exactly how your mindset determines your moonshot. Mindset is so important to us, to what we do, and to how we actually do it. So, what I'd like to do first is to help you to expand your vision so that you can remove any uncertainty you have about actually making that moonshot and what that moonshot's going to do for you. The first thing we need to understand is the difference between incremental thinking and exponential thinking. An incremental mindset, what that actually will give you is a better understanding of actually what it is that you want to do. And the focus between incremental focuses on making something better. And the focus of exponential focuses on making something different. And that's those are 2 different things: to make something better or to make something different. Incremental is satisfied with 10%. So we can make it better incrementally, 10% at a time. If you're 10% better, we're doing well. If you get 10% more, you're doing good. But exponential mindset is out for 10x, meaning we want it 1,000 times, 1,000% better. In the last century, industrial business models were defined by the use of machines to create increasing returns to scale. As we launch into the new phase of business, your team needs to develop and refine this business model. The lean startup approach of test, iterate, and pivot is the right thing to do, but you also must understand the right way to think. Are you thinking about your business incrementally or exponentially? Are you trying to go at 10% at a time, or are you ready to 10x your business? The incremental mindset draws a straight line from the present to the future. A good incremental business plan enables you to see exactly how you will get from here to there. But exponential models, although no, they are not straight. They are like a bend or a curve in the road that prevents you from actually seeing around the corner, except in the case the curve goes up, like the hill goes up, and then you can see around and up the hill. Without an exponential mindset, Google would never have been able to create such an ambitious vision as organizing the world's information. You wouldn't have a Google if you didn't have exponential thinking. They didn't come out just simply to give information out to one person or to one place, but they looked to give it out to the world. And that's exactly what they did. Facebook would never have set out to make the world more open and connected without exponential thinking. You have to think exponentially with the types of things they do. And today, Facebook is still free. Airbnb, they wanted to create a world where all 7 billion people can belong anywhere. That never was even thought of, that was even possible or a possibility. Exponential thinking. And not exponential thinking to say we'll do this over time, but exponential thinking to say we can do this now. And think about this. The World Economic Forum brings together groups of innovative organizations from the private and public sector to solve global social issues by achieving transformative scale. So we're not just going for incremental scaling up of the business. We're talking about scaling up of the business, of life, of careers in a transformative manner. So as we're scaling up, we're also at the same time transforming. In Maine, they've got an expression. You can't get from there from here. You can't get to there from here. In the launch phase, you need to realize that an exponential strategy has an inherent uncertainty. It's not going to be a straight line. It's going to be on a curve. So now I want you to actually set your mind so that you take back your mindset. And what we're going to look at next is the taking back of your mindset and what that actually will do for you. What I'm talking about when I say take back your mindset, how you want to do that, you want to take full control of your mind. It's simply a matter of taking that absolute accountability and responsibility for your thoughts, your words, and your deeds. It is disallowing yourself to see others as your controller, your manifester, or your cardinal director. You want to basically change the narrative. You actually want to be able to have the full control over what's going on, when it's going on, why it's happening, and where it's happening, and how it happens to you. All of the changing of the narrative happens in the power of the tongue. It's your words. It is the frequency at which you vibrate. It's you. It's always has been you. We spend an inordinate amount of time looking outside of ourselves for an answer. We look to someone else to emulate. We look how they did it so that we too can follow that way. And if we do it the way in which they did it, we also will have that success. Now that works to a certain degree, but to a varying degree, that does not work. It's okay if you take the best from all the rest and make it your own. So it makes it your way. A brazen example of that is a few weeks back, I watched an episode of American Idol. And what I saw on there, what really stuck with me was all the judges, they had their individual things that they were saying about each contestant as they finished up doing their song. And one of the things that actually, it was like a thread that ran through that every judge said every single time, and that was they wanted the singer to make the song their own. Although they were singing someone else's song, they wanted them to leave themselves, to put themselves on the stage and to leave everything about themselves on that stage so that you were left with them and they had given their all into it. So basically they were saying, sing somebody else's songs. The song is simply the words and the music, but it has to be you. It has to be your way, and you take the best that's there and you make that your own. And I thought that was very powerful in the fact that I don't quite remember all of the singers, but I do remember the lesson that they were trying to tell and that they were telling everyone. I remember that very well, with that, to take it and make it your own. Today, the buzzword is authenticity and tell your story. Everybody wants to be authentic and they want to tell their story, and rightfully so. They want to see your persona. They want to see your person. Who are you? Must always resonate through your narrative. Everything you do must become a reflection of you, the quality of you, the quantity of you, and the essence of you. Think about it like this. When you see an iPhone, who do you think about? Steve Jobs. When you see a Tesla go down the street, immediately Elon Musk. His jumps right into your mind. And when you see Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, you see the embodiment of a supreme decision maker. You don't see any other judge. You don't see anyone else. Although many of those who were there during her confirmation hearing, they may have said that they were not going to vote for her, but not one of them said they did not like her for who she was, that she spoke well of herself, that her answers were her own entirely, and that they understood her. And that's what's important. Do I know you when you're gone? Do I know you when you're no longer in the room? Do I remember you? That's what you want to make certain that everyone does with you. They remember who you are. Now, one of the books I do suggest that everyone read, and that is Michelle Obama's book, Becoming. And the reason I suggest this particular writing is because in there, she talks about she really did not learn just who she was and what her role was until she was walking up the actual steps. She was looking for others that she could emulate, that she could be like when she became the first lady. But as she ascended those stairs that first time and got to the top of those stairs, she looked back. And what she looked back and saw were that eyes were looking at her. They were not looking at who she would be like, or who she would emulate, or who she would study, or who she would even take the best from. They were looking at her. And that's when she realized she was the role model. And that's when she had to become Michelle, who she would be. And most of life, for women especially, happens prior to us becoming that person, or prior to us stepping into that role. We find ourselves at the moment between 11:59 a.m., 11:59 p.m., and 12 a.m., with life just simply thrust upon us. It is at those seconds in time, those 60 seconds, that you stop being what you were and you become what you're going to be. You stop being that little girl, you become that woman. You stop being that single woman and become that mother. It is at that moment in time when you actually become. In that becoming, what we have to learn how to do and what we have to be very much apprised of is the long game and how we play the long game. That is so important in your life. The long game is going to be the most important thing that you do in this lifetime. And that long game is your 10-year plan. That's your long game. You want to have 10-year plans, 10-year incremental plans with benchmarks. What am I going to do year 1, year 3, year 5, year 7, and so that's going to take me to year 10, and you count it back. Know your end. Know where you are going. You don't have to know how you're going to get there. You don't have to know who's going to take you there. What are you going to do? What you have to know is that there is a 10-year end. And then I can easily step back and put in place what I'm going to do to make my moonshot my own. And now let's take a look at your moonshot right now. And what you will see with that moonshot is the goals and all of these goals that you set and just how they will allow you to reach your target. I'm going to give you 5 benefits of a moonshot. And in these 5 benefits, we're also going to discuss exactly how they're going to get you to that moonshot and take you through that first 10 years and on into the next 10 years, so on and so forth. And it will also show you how to use them to create that long game. Crazy ideas. That's the first thing we're going to look at. And crazy ideas are those ideas that actually come first before a moonshot actually comes in. The day before something is a breakthrough, it's a crazy idea. With the moonshot mindset, that will give you permission to have crazy ideas. See, when you shoot for the moon, you know you're going to reach the stars. You may even go past the moon and keep going all the way out into the universe. That's how you want to think. Wild, crazy. 10 years from now. Today's most successful companies, I want you to look at them. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Alphabet, Facebook. These are ones, they're crushing it. They embrace crazy ideas, followed up by experiments. And they do these experiments in real time with real customers. They test it to see just how viable that idea might be. This crazy thing just might work. It might be crazy enough that somebody may want to actually go with this and do this. And this way they can understand the exponential world. They become agile. They begin to actually build entrepreneurs who are agile to run countless experiments, and they collect data and then they do it over again, changing the business models, changing the algorithms until they get to a point which it works and finding out what works. That's why, if you notice all of them, there is always a constant iterations, constant updates coming out so that you will be able to know that what changes are going to be constant, and then they can make hyperspeed changes, hyperspeed successes. So are you ready to make those jumps? Are you ready to take that? Leaders with the exponential mindset intuitively understand the power of data driven decision making. They know that making choices based on human hunches is a thing of the past. You have to have data to make very good choices. You have to ask questions. You have to collect critical data. And you have to know that the correct answer is fundamental to you becoming an exponential organization, having an exponential life, having an exponential career. So let's take a good, close, hard look. Are you ready? Number two, are you ready to take the risk? Are you ready to put in what you need to put in to actually make your moonshot, to make it your own? You must be willing to take the necessary risk to transform industries, to transform societies for the better. You have to recognize that these will make that mindset of innovators in the world a better place. It'll move humanity forward, and that's what changes the future. Number three, you have to create a $1 billion challenge, a billion person challenge. You've got to create those challenges. It's going to challenge a billion people to do that something. Think about John Lennon. What did John Lennon do? When he did his song Imagine, what did Imagine do? It made people around the world imagine what it would be like if there was peace in the world. And he did that. That is what we call a 10x, which is number 4. And that is the 10x improvement, or 1,000% improvement over something, over the way things are. Compared to a 10% incremental improvement, this here will give you 100-fold benefit at all times. But it's not 100% harder to do that. It's just as easy. It's easier to do that, and the reward is far greater than just simply accepting a 10% change. Benefit number 5 is, and this is one that I really like, this is probably my favorite, and that is your moonshot focuses and motivates your team. It will help you to be better at selecting people for your teams, the right people to actually work with you, and the right people who are actually going to help you to actually achieve that moonshot. So moonshots, not only does it focus and motivates your team, it also helps to focus and motivate you as well. I want to see you achieve that moonshot and get there.